Yeah. Very good morning, students. Sorry, small technical issue. Yeah. And you all aware the stoichiometry is the basis for physical chemistry. And you have seen how many sessions I have spent on numericals particularly. And you know, as you are in the virtual mode, uh, being a teacher, I would like to assist you in solving more and more numericals and getting very strong and to lay a very strong foundation in physical chemistry. Uh, Before getting into idiometry means volume-volume relationship. My next lecture will be volume-volume relationship. And today I am going to end the session till weight-volume relationship. So let us see some more objective questions associated with what you have learned so far. So have a look here. First question. Purified pepsin was subjected to amino acid analysis. So, the amino acid present in the smallest amount was lysine, C6H14N2O2. And the amount of lysine was formed to be 0.43 gram per 100 grams of protein. The minimum molecular mass of protein is. So, the foremost important thing in solving any numerical is, first of all, you should have a clarity of what has been given. So, purified pepsin was subjected to amino acid analysis. The amino acid present in the smallest amount was lysine. So, first of all, I would like to teach you some basics. Now, you know very well, you are made up of what? You are made up of proteins. So, your skin, your hair, everything, the body, so the muscles, everything are made up of proteins. So, proteins are nothing but amides, is a polyamide. I mean, we can say they are having like this amide groups. This is a protein basically. This is called polypeptide. Polypeptide chain. This is also called protein. Try to understand, students. So this protein, the building blocks of this protein, you know what are the building blocks of protein? Building blocks of proteins are amino acids. Amino acids. So you have two types of amino acids, essential, non-essential. Essential means the body itself will produce those amino acids. Non-essential means you have to supply through diet. So, and you know very well during this crisis, health crisis of COVID, so glycine is being attacked actually. So that is the one of the prime reason we have to give certain amino acids to have a strong immune system. Well, now try to understand from this slide. You are very clear that you have a protein like this. You have a protein, and in this protein there are some amino acids. One of the amino acid is called lysine. It is basic amino acid basically. You'll be learning this chapter in the second year organic chemistry. So this is a protein. So this protein contains lysine, which is an amino acid. So this is an amino acid. So this is the preliminary understanding of this. Now let us go to the question. Now, the amount of lysine was formed 0.43 per 100 grams. So, in 100 grams, how much is present, students? In 100 grams of protein, this is protein, this is amino acid, this is amino acid. So, in this 100 grams, how much is present? 0.43 grams is present. In 100 grams, 0.43 grams is present. Right. Now, find out the mass of lysine. You know very well 0.43 by 100. So it comes out to be 0.0043 grams. So you got lysine. Try to understand, students. So now if you see the molecular mass of this protein C6H lysine 14N2O2. This is lysine. So lysine, I can give the formula also. I mean, you may not understand, but I can give. This is COOH COH, NH2. This is NH2. This is lysine. Okay. I hope you understood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon. 6 carbons we should have. So I hope you understood. This is 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4 carbon, 5 carbon, 6 carbons. We should have 6 carbons. And H14. If you see, now anyhow, it's one molecule. If you see, its molecular weight is 146 AMU. 146 AMU. Right. So one amino acid is 0.043. 146 by 0.0043 gives minimum molecular mass of protein. I hope you understood. This is the molecular mass of lysine by mass of lysine per gram of macromolecule. So this is 34,000 AMU. I hope you understood. This is how you can find the minimum molecular mass of a protein. Yeah, I hope you are very clear. Next, let us solve the second question. Polyethylene can be produced from calcium carbide according to the following sequence. So calcium carbide and hydrolysis gives acetylene. This is acetylene. Acetylene on reduction, this is a reduction reaction, gives ethene. You can also say ethene. Ethylene on polymerization gives polyethylene. So all the polyethylene bags, you have 3 types of polyethylene. So very high density polyethylene, high density polyethylene, and low density polyethylene. Low density polyethylene means your carry bags and other things. High density polyethylene means your buckets, mugs, and other things. And very high density or ultra high density means you can see the Syntex tanks or big tanks will be there. Those are all okay. So very high density, ultra high density. So anyhow, so first of all, I would like to teach some basics of this. So you should know the philosophy of the question first of all. So first of all, this is calcium carbide. So calcium CaC2. You can write this calcium carbide as Ca plus 2 and C. I hope you understand. This is calcium carbide. Now, if you do hydrolysis, H plus OH minus, this H plus 2 H plus will be taken by this and it forms acetylene. This is acetylene. Acetylene, you know, it is used for ripening, artificial ripening. Acetylene torch. Anyhow, that's a different thing. Now this acetylene, if you do reduction means add hydrogen, you get CH, add hydrogens here, it forms 2 hydrogens are added here, it forms ethylene. And ethylene, if you polymerize, you get C2. So one second, you get CH2 N times, it gets polymerized. This is called polyethylene, PE, polyethylene. This is the philosophy of this question. Now, I don't want to make you confused. Have a look here. Calcium carbide is converted into C2H4 is converted into polyethylene. So these are the basics. So now go back to the question. Now have a look. Calculate the mass of polyethylene produced from 20 kg of CaC2. So that means the relation should be taken, okay, for only CaC2 20 kg. If you take, what should be the polyethylene? This is the question. I hope you understood. So if you take first of all 1 mole of this, you are getting here 1 mole, you are getting here 1 mole. So calcium carbide, if you see calcium carbide, 1 mole is 64 grams and C2H4 molecular weight is 28. Agreed? So now you can see here 20 kg means how much? See, 64 grams if you take calcium carbide, how much ethane you are getting? Ethane. So 64 grams if you take, ethane will be 28 grams. Do you agree or not? That is the molecular weight. 64 grams if you take, so ethane will be 28 grams. This is calcium carbide, this is ethane. This ethane will be converted into polyethylene. Okay. Why the problem is here, 1 mole of calcium carbide is converted into 1 mole of ethylene. So try to understand. Now 20 kg of calcium carbide gives how much? So how much? It will be 8.7 into 10 power 3 grams. This is the answer. Very simple. So mass of polyethylene is equal to mass of ethene. So when you find the mass of this one, so I hope ethene, then you get the mass of polyethylene. So you can go back. So here I hope you understood. This is 64 grams. 64 grams. So 64 grams is 28 grams. This is 28 grams. 28 grams. Okay. Now 20 kg, how much? Okay. Because if you find C2H4, then what happens? This is also equal to 1 mole. Both are 1 mole. So C2H4 1 mole is equal to polyethylene 1 mole. I hope you understood. This is how you can find the mass. Now let us move on to the next question. See here, mass of polyethylene is equal to mass of ethene. Now let us see the next question. If the isotopic distribution of C12, C14 is 98% and 2%, not 20%, it is 2%. So you strike off this, only 2% respectively. Then the number of C14 atoms in 12 grams of carbon is. A very good question. So here you have two isotopes, you know very well, C12 and C14. Two isotopes are there. These isotopes are present here 98%, here 2%. And this is a total carbon, for example. This is carbon. So this is carbon. So how much carbon is given? 12 grams is given. In this 12 grams, so C14 is how much? So 0.24. So 12 into 2 by 100. I hope you understood. So 2% is given. So 12 grams into 2%. So 12 in 12 grams, 2% C14 is there. C14 is how much? 2%. So it comes out to be 0.24. Now I got what you got here, weight of C2. Now what is required here? Number of atoms. So you know very well, weight by molecular weight into Avogadro number is equal to number of C14 atoms. So C14 atoms, molecular weight is C14 and weight is 0.24 and into Avogadro number gives 1.032 into 10 power 22 atoms. I hope you are comfortable with this. Now, this is another interesting question asked in the earlier examination. An iron nail increases 10% of its mass due to partial rusting into Fe2O3. The percentage of total iron that has rusted is. Very good question. Now, let us make an attempt first of all to understand the philosophy of this question. So, the philosophy is as follows. So, for you know very well, you have a iron nail is there. For example, let us take this is iron nail. This is like this, iron nail is like this. Okay. This iron nail, it is gets exposed to oxygen. This is iron. It gets exposed to oxygen. And as time progresses, you know very well, corrosion is the rate of reaction is is very low. So slowly corrosion takes place. You can see so the iron gets rusted slowly. So it forms Fe2O3. Its oxides it forms. This is called rust. Actually, truly speaking, it reacts with water also, some water also, and rust formula is Fe2O3 dot XH2O. This is the rust formula asked once in the examination. So because that's why moisture is there, it absorbs moisture also. So fog or moisture, that's why in the beach side, so the iron in the presence of oxygen, so and naturally it absorbs moisture, it forms Fe2O3 dot XH2O. That is rust. That's why sometimes you apply oil, something like that, so that there won't be any rust, because it forms a thin layer and the layer will prevent so the oxide formation. Okay, it prevent the oxygen to react with iron. Anyhow, you understood the philosophy now. So 4Fe plus 3O2 gives rise to 2Fe2O3. That means 224. You know, iron is 56 grams is the atomic weight of iron. Okay, that means 4 into 56 is 4 into 56 is nothing but 224. So 224 grams iron reacts with 96 grams of O2. So 224 grams, 96 grams of O2. For example, if you take mass of iron as 100 grams and the iron rusted is x grams, so x grams how much? X grams is how much? 0.42x. Okay, but this is given how much? 10% increase, so is equal to 10. I hope you understood. So 0.428. So because in 100 grams If you take 100, 10% is the increase. So I hope you understood. So increase in weight is 4.428x is equal to 10. I hope you understood. So increase in mass is x. You have taken for 100 grams, increase in mass is x. So in this 100, so 10% increase is there. I hope you understood. So now answer is x is equal to 23.3. Now, so far students, you understood the importance of, see, the calculation part is pretty simple. So everything lies in understanding. So the crux of the question. So the heart of the problem. That's what I said. Technically it is called philosophy of the question. Now, 32.5 grams of zinc will react with dilute H2SO4 to give H2. Why it has to react first of all? Let us understand the philosophy. You know very well. So zinc is a metal. Students, you know very well. Zinc is a metal. Do you agree or not? Zinc is a metal. You know very well. Metals means what? They are electropositive. That means they give electrons. So I hope you understood, students. Now, this is what is happens at the zinc side. Now, H2SO4. Students, H2SO4. Shall I write like this? H2SO4, 2H plus SO4, 2 minus. This 2H plus takes these two electrons and it forms H2 gas. So now this Zn plus 2 reacts with SO4 and it forms ZnSO4. I hope you understood. This is the basic philosophy of the question. So metals are electropositive and non-metals are, these are non-metal. Hydrogen is non-metal, it takes electrons. Metals gives electrons, non-metals takes electrons. Well, now, so why it is so? Again, there are, I mean, you studied in periodic classification. Metals are larger size and these are smaller size. Smaller size are more electron affinity will be there or electron negativity will be there. So they take electrons. So I hope you are very clear. Now let us see. So 65 grams of zinc if you take. So it is something associated with zinc. This is weight relationship. So and now mole relationship. So 65 grams gives 1 mole of H2. Let us take this is 1 mole of H2. So here the question is 32.5 grams. 32.5 grams is mass is 65. So 32.5 is exactly half. Okay. 32.5 is half. 65 by 2 is 32.5. That means it will be half mole. Very simple. So because it is giving 1 mole. 65 grams is 1 mole. 1 mole of H2 it is giving. So naturally 32.5 means half mole it gives. So if you understand the question, that particularly if you understand the stoichiometric equation, so calculation part is effortless. Well, let us move on to the next question. So next question is a very interesting question asked in the previous examination. If 1 ml of water contains 20 drops. So we do one thing. We take water here. So water 1 ml. So I am taking here 1 ml. This is 1 ml. This 1 ml contains 20 drops first of all. Now try to understand, students. Density of water is, see, you know very well, density is equal to 1 gram per ml. The standard. Okay. And density and mass are same. Density is equal to 1 gram is given. So density is, and mass is equal to, are same basically for water. Okay. You should know this concept because I already given one density of water is 1 gram per ml. It is basics basically. So that means 1 ml is nothing but 1 gram because density is equal to, I mean 1 gram per ml. Gram means what? Mass by volume. This is nothing but mass by density is equal to mass by volume. So its mass is how much? 1 gram. In how many? 1 ml. That means 1 gram is equal to 1 ml. I hope you understood. Now, so this is the basics. So that means 20 drops is nothing but 1 gram. Here I have given 20 drops is equal to 1 gram. So the question is what here? Very simple. Now if you understand this, number of molecules in 1 drop. You know very well. So 1 drop weighs how much? 0.05 grams. Because 20 drops is 1 gram. 1 drop weighs this much. You know very well now. Number of molecules, formula, what is it? What is it? Weight by molecular weight into Avogadro number. So weight by molecular weight into Avogadro number. This is weight of what? Weight of 1 drop. So you should know first of all weight of 1 drop you find out because the question is here number of molecules in 1 drop. So when teacher gives the explanation you feel very comfortable. So, but when you try to practice, it's difficult because you are not thinking. So you are not basically uh, you stimulating your your intellect. Now, a very interesting question and a difficult question. Well, the mass of carbon anode consumed, giving only carbon dioxide in the production of 270 kg of aluminium metal from bauxite by Hall's process. Well, so first of all, you should understand some philosophy. The philosophy is as follows. Aluminium can be manufactured by three processes. One is Hall's process, Serpek's process, another is called Bayer's process. Bayer's process depends on the impurities. Okay. Now, here what process is given, students? Hall's process is given. Fine. Now, actually this particular subject will be studying in metallurgy. Okay. Production of aluminium. Anyhow, in the production of aluminium, here there are some electrodes like this. These electrodes, this is how it looks. These electrodes are carbon anodes. What is it? Carbon anode. These are carbon anodes. Okay. So this is what is the carbon anode. So naturally, Al2O3 here. This is the electrolyte. Al2O3 is the electrolyte. So oxygen in this reacts with coke. It forms CO2. Actually, CO also will be formed. But here, purposefully, he has given only carbon dioxide because CO2 and CO both will be produced. But here in the question, only CO is produced. CO2 is produced. So what you have to know is writing the stoichiometric equation. When you write the stoichiometric equation, rest of the things are pretty simple and easy, basically. So what is how to write the stoichiometric equation? So fundamentally is, first of all, Al2O3 reacts with anode and it forms CO2 plus aluminium. So once you balance it, it's pretty simple because 3 into 12 grams requires 4 into 27 grams of aluminium. Now 270 kg, how much? 270 kg or grams, you can take anything. Okay, you get 90 kg. I hope you understood. It's very pretty simple. So students, why to solve this question? Why examiner is giving? Very simple. You know, there is a place near even Vizag named Damanjodi. There Nalco is there. Okay, it is in Orissa, Damanjodi. There this process is, they are doing this process. See, you should know how much electrodes you should take to produce aluminium. For example, you want to produce 1 ton of aluminium. So you should know how much graphite, that is anodes you should take. Anode is nothing but graphite rods. Okay, you should know it. So for that, naturally required stoichiometric calculations are required. Yeah. So very interesting. Now, very good. Let us see the next question. The mass of CaCO3 required to react with 25 ml of 0.75 molar HCl is, it's pretty simple. Students, you know very well, calcium carbonate is basic, HCl is acidic, and it forms a salt. Okay, try to understand. Now, here have a look, students. First of all, there is a formula I will teach you in concentration term. Molarity is equal to weight by molecular weight into 1000 by volume in ml. Okay. Now I can write here mv is equal to weight by molecular weight into 1000. Okay. So that's what it is done here. Okay. So here 25 into m. So m into v. M into v is how much? You get moles, because weight by molecular weight is nothing but moles. Millimoles will get. Weight by molecular weight is moles. So you got the moles here. Weight by 25 ml into 0.75. Okay. So you multiply 25 into 0.75, you multiply it. Okay. So I hope you are very clear. So you get here, you can do like this. You can also do like this. See, number of moles is equal to mv by 1000. Number of moles is equal to mv by 1000. Weight by molecular weight is number of moles. So mv by 1000. So m into v by 1000. You got the moles. I hope you understood. Now you know very well 1 mole of calcium chloride requires 2 moles of HCl. Very simple. Now 0.175 moles. Actually moles of HCl how much? Because moles of CaCO3 required is HCl by 2. Naturally, 1 mole requires 2 moles. Now finished. Now I hope mass is required. When you get the moles, number of moles is equal to weight by molecular weight. But here only one simple thing. 1 mole of CaCO3 requires 2 moles. So 1 mole of HCl requires 1 by 2 CaCO3. That's what it is, the moles of. Yeah. Now when you got the moles, you can find so what is mass? So mass is equal to number of moles into molecular weight is equal to mass. I hope you understood. Now you got the mass. So please check out this question. It's pretty simple question. You should know the formula. Molarity is equal to weight by molecular weight into 1000, or molarity is equal to number